Welcome to the Addicted to DVC podcast, a deep dive into all things Disney Vacation Club. We share tips, tricks, and insider info, helping you make the most of your membership. Join us for the latest news, reviews, and interviews with DVC experts and enthusiasts. Whether you're a seasoned DVC member or considering your first contract, this podcast is for you. Now, here are your hosts, Mike Hurley and Gary Arruda.
Welcome to the Addicted to DVC podcast with Mike and Gary. This is episode 21, recorded in the DeFont Leroy Recording Studios in Sarasota, Florida, and Cranston, Rhode Island. I'm your host, Mike in Florida, joined by my cousin and co-host, Gary, up in Rhode Island. Good evening, Gary.
What's up, Mike? How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
You're
Switching
a professional.
a little bit. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I messed you up.
Yeah.
I put the wrong number in the title, didn't I?
Well, I don't know.
And you just went right with, like, you ignored my mistake, and
Nope.
you just soldiered on
I'm
with the
all
right.
over it. I'm all over it.
I'm giving you.
Were you
a round of-
testing me?
No, it was a mistake. I forgot to edit it
Oh, okay.
because I wrote 20, and I said, "Oh, let me check," and it's 21, and then I forgot to go back and change the title.
The broadcast professional as I am.
At least one of us is.
Yep.
How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. What's new? This is we're a little ahead here, right? This
Yeah,
is
we
like-
had to get ahead because we both have our work trips coming up.
That's right.
Would you
yes.
consider this the DVC, Addicted to DVC conference? This is our first work trip, isn't it?
Based on
With this new podcast.
Yeah, based on the amount of people that are going to be there when we're there.
I mean,
There's a lot of-
originally we thought we were just going to go into a conference room, but we had to rent out the big ballroom at the Contemporary for this.
Yeah, there's a lot of
big.
people going.
Yeah, there's a lot of people attending.
But unfortunately, anyone who is going has already gone because this is coming out after the trip, correct?
Yes, it is.
So
You are
that's good.
correct.
Presumably, we'll hear about some how the trip went in a coming episode.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
But yeah, I'm excited about it. There's a lot of people going to be down there. I talked to our good friend Ken. He's going to be down there.
Yep.
Angry Newfield Jr.,
Angry New Phil Jr., Zach Tills.
Zach, yourself.
Yep.
It's a lot of things I got to do on a short trip. A lot of handshaking and babies to kiss and things.
Now,
like
did
that.
you get a lot of your 8x11s all autographed and the glossy and ready to go? Because you can't be wasting your time signing, right? You got them.
Yeah, you do it ahead of time.
Yeah.
They come with the certificate of authenticity. Yeah.
That is kind of sad. I mean, we're popular podcasters, but people are already trying to pirate our autographs, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you need to have the COA on there, and I used to personalize them so people couldn't put them back up on eBay. But you know what? If you're trying to make a buck, who am I to stop you?
Yeah, I'm all for, to
Little
Gary.
entrepreneurial
Best
spirit.
No. I just signed Mike Hurley, Michael P. Hurley, put the
Yes.
initial in there. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But should we get into the
Yeah, that
topic at
song's
hand?
going to be in my head, so I might be a disaster. You played some ridiculous song at the beginning.
That
before
was
we
like our
started playing.
that was our pre-show production meeting.
Yep, little gangster rap, and now it's going to be in my head. I don't give about Charlie or anything. It doesn't.
Well, like we listened to it on the way to the course when we're playing in the member guests. We had to get the.
Is that
gangster
when we
rap.
got? That's when we got drummed by Humphrey.
Yes, that didn't
Yes,
help.
we had that big match, and we were playing the. I don't get. Do you even know who sings that song? I don't
No.
give about Charlie or anything that Chuck doesn't.
I don't know who sings it. However, we actually played good in that match. We can't help it when a 17 handicap shoots like 36 on his own ball in
Yeah.
a 9-hole match. Not to rehash old issues.
Yep.
I thought that was the best match we played.
Yeah, we got drummed. Nah, we played pretty well though. We against the team that finished first.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, because we bipped and
We were
bopped against
we were
those guys.
we were dormy, and we won the last three to have the match.
Yeah. I was pulling shots out of my orifice on those last 2 holes.
Yeah, you were. And I made a par on 7. I think you were out of it on 7, weren't you?
I'm pretty sure I still haven't cleared that water on 7.
Yeah, I made it, and I made a great 7's a tough hole, the number 1 handicapping hole at Sarah Bay, and I made a par. Let's go.
That was to have it, though.
Well, that's right. It was to have it.
Because then you made I think you made a double on 8 to win it. I think everyone was in the water except for you, and you like chipped over I forget. That was a disaster hole.
Yep. And then you won 9 and then 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway. What's our topic today, sir?
We are going to talk about our favorite DVC resorts at Christmas time.
Now, we could make this a really short episode and just say all of them, right? Because they're all fantastic.
They are, aren't they?
There's just something about the whole property at Christmas. It's just nice, isn't it?
I agree.
There's not really a place that's bad. Disney Springs is great at Christmas. All the resorts are
Be a
great.
little
at
crowded
Christmas.
at times, but you're
Of
right.
course.
Disney Springs is fine.
But we're gonna try to narrow this down to our top DVC resorts at Christmas. Now, I'm curious as to your thought process because I was thinking like lobby, things to do, overall vibes of the resort.
Okay.
I wasn't necessarily thinking like, is this the resort I'd want to stay at for Christmas if I was staying around Christmas, which I am, and you are as well.
Mm-hmm.
Did you use the same thought process, or were you more thinking of like where would I want to stay?
No, not
During the
necessarily.
Christmas.
More, what are the best places?
Okay. Because there's one place in particular that I feel like would be way up high on your list if you're thinking, would I want to stay there for Christmas?
Yep.
As opposed to, is it my favorite resort at Christmas?
Okay.
So we can get into that depending on your list. I don't want to spoil anything ahead. Do you want me to start off with my number 5?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
My number 5 is Animal Kingdom Lodge. I love that lobby anyway, and it looks great at Christmas. They do the gingerbread display. They do animals. They have like a giraffe and a zebra and stuff that they make out of gingerbread that's in the lobby there. It's not my top. Obviously, there's 4 better ones in my opinion, but I really like just that lobby is so good to me that just having it like plussed up with the Christmas stuff really makes a difference. The only reason it's not higher on my list is because if you're hanging out there and you go out like on the savannah and see the animals, that doesn't really make you think like
Christmas.
the Christmas spirit when you're watching like wildebeest and ostriches and whatever else is out there running around. But just in the lobby and the enhancements they make to it at Christmas time, it made my number 5. What are your thoughts on that? I don't know if that's on your list or not, but what are your thoughts on that as my number 5?
It's hard. It's just not. I don't know. It's a great lobby. For me, it's just it's dark.
Too dark, yeah.
That's the problem.
I can see that, especially at Christmas. You want it to be light and bright. That's fair. I could take that criticism for the number 5. What do you have for your number 5?
For my number 5, it's popping up. They're doing some really nice things, and that's the Boardwalk Villas.
Oh, okay.
They've got a gingerbread house there. They've got I've got a beautiful Christmas ornament. I don't know if they had this the last time, but they had that, like I said, the gingerbread house, and then they have a place where you can get hot chocolate and you can get Christmas ornaments and all.
Yeah, in the lobby, it's like a pop-up little bar.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we did that last year. We went when we checked out all the decorations on in the boardwalk area. We went into the boardwalk, and they have like a replica of the boardwalk deli made out of gingerbread, and they have
excuse me.
It wasn't even hot chocolate, at least last year. It was drinking chocolate, which is different.
Okay.
It was very thick. It wasn't like as liquidy as hot chocolate. It was like basically melted candy bar.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah, I just went over to my Disney tree over here.
Yes.
It's got all of my Christmas ornaments, but I needed this like a hole in the head. So I don't know if you can see. It's a hot chocolate mug.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, I see that.
It is
Boardwalk. Yep, perfect. Looks like the postcard.
Yep. But then
Is that Donald?
that's
It's hard to
Donald.
see. Oh, nice. Made out of gingerbread.
Yeah, we got a better view right there.
So is that specific to like the lobby, or is that just their new Christmas ornament? I wonder.
I don't know because I've never seen this, but I did see it in the lobby.
Because they have like at the Grand, they have a specific like gingerbread Grand Floridian ornament, like to commemorate the gingerbread house they build and everything like that. So I wonder if it's specific to that, which is interesting. If it is, that's a really good idea. Now I'm guessing that was slightly more than the $2 swan.
The
Swan and
$2
Dolphin.
Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic.
Yeah,
Yes, it came in at $2.75.
and I'm guessing that one was
But with my
probably
discount, it was pretty close.
10 times the price of that, like 27.
Yeah, it was in the 20s. You are correct, sir.
Yeah, it's a nice ornament though. I like that it's the mug. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fantastic. I would buy in a heartbeat if Disney's listening, which they're not. Maybe they are, but they might not implement it. How cool would it be to have those early 2000s, late 90s refillable mugs, the resort specific mugs as Christmas ornaments?
Yeah, that would be. I mean, they could make a killer.
Imagine that you get that like with that whole like 90s aesthetic, like that Coronado Springs one with the everything, and it just hangs on there. It looks like a little refillable mug. Could do that for all of them. Everyone would buy those. That would be a hot ticket item.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe I'll go into business myself and start making these. Figure out a way to get them like 3D printed and designed.
Do our Etsy, set up our Etsy shop.
Yeah, make some money until Disney sends us a cease and desist. But we'll make a little money before that happens, right?
Absolutely.
But I think that would be fantastic. What else about Boardwalk?
You know what does it for me is that huge Christmas tree outside where they do the movie Under the Stars. They had just set it up when we were there. It's so beautiful, and just with their restaurants outside, the big lights of the flying fish. It's so Christmassy, that resort, I feel, and it was so under the radar forever because I never hung out there. I never saw a reason to go over there. And now my past couple stays I've stayed, I love it. I think the lobby is very understated. They have the Dapper Dans. They were singing Christmas. I think I went live and you were watching it after the Food and Wine Classic, and they were doing Christmas music. It's just a great resort.
The only reason it didn't make my top 5 is I feel like the inside of the lobby is not as decorated as some of the other ones. Like the tree outside is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they kind of miss an opportunity to really go all out on the boardwalk area.
Yeah,
stuff. Because it could look great. I know it's like rooms and guest rooms and everything, but imagine if they had like stuff hanging near the balconies on the building, like facing
the boardwalk.
Facing the boardwalk, that'd be fantastic.
Yep.
But that tree is great. I love that it's outdoors. I like how big it is. I think
It's
that's
beautiful,
a great
isn't it?
And I don't think it's bad. It's your number 5. That's a perfect spot for it, I think. My number 4 is the Contemporary.
It's interesting.
It's not a huge Christmas, like it's that more modern, but they do have the gingerbread display. One thing I really like about it is because it has a lot of shops in there. So like when you're in there at Christmas time, you're doing the shopping. It feels very festive. And then on top of it, I think what I really like is the outdoor. Again, they have the tree on the outside as you're driving up. Like if you're going to Magic Kingdom, you see that Christmas tree before you see
outside, out in the parking lot. You're right.
You know what I mean? Like that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also giving it some points for the views of Magic Kingdom. So if you're staying there, or if you eat at California Grill and you go up for the fireworks and you get to see the Christmas, the Very Merry Christmas Party fireworks from there, that's a huge advantage as part of us. So I'm kind of lumping that in with the Contemporary. That's why it's my number 4.
Here's my only concern because they have that huge, gorgeous gingerbread house inside.
Mhm.
The only thing that I don't like about the Contemporary, and I don't know if this makes sense or not, but you feel like you're at the Contemporary even at Christmas time, where a lot of the resorts, they transform and they just feel a little bit different, where I think the Grand Canyon Concourse feels like the Grand Canyon Concourse in July.
Okay. You're saying
That's
it
the
doesn't
only
change
thing.
enough.
Yeah, it just you still have that same Contemporary feel.
I see what you're saying.
Similar to the Polynesian, I think the Polynesian does a great job at Christmas.
Mhm.
Very off the radar. It's beautiful. They have this small, unassuming tree. It's a beautiful lobby, but you still feel like you're at the Polynesian.
Yes. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. And again, it's just my number 4. I'm not saying it's the best one at Christmas, but I like how close you are to Magic Kingdom, and Magic Kingdom's obviously great at Christmas. And then that tree outside, though, when you're driving up, it
Yeah,
has those big chunky ornaments on it, and
I agree.
it's a great feeling. What's your number 4?
So this doesn't even have a lobby,
Okay.
but it's just the vibe at Christmas time. The cabins at Fort Wilderness.
I I agree with you to some extent, and that's when I asked earlier, and I said if it's someplace you're staying,
Mhm.
like, I could see that being your number 1 if you said places to stay,
Absolutely.
because you could bring roadie,
Yep.
you could set up your Christmas tree, you get the golf cart, you see everything. As a place to visit at Christmas time, I think it's properly rated where you have it on your
Yeah, I
list.
mean, I knew what the most popular top 5 were gonna be, and I didn't wanna agree with you 100% because I would certainly have Animal Kingdom in my top 5, but
Mhm.
Fort Wilderness just like, if you can't rent apparently, you can't rent, a golf cart if you're not staying there, which I don't know, they never really cross-reference, so you would be able to get in there and get a golf cart, but just to get a golf cart for the day and just cruise around
Yeah.
and check out all the different sites and all the campers, and it's
Yeah,
just
because people go all out. It's not even Disney's decoration, it's the
no, they
people
go
staying there.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah, they deck out their golf carts. They, like, do the parade, like, the decoration parade and all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I think it loses some points because there's not a central place to go and
Right,
kinda,
they
like,
have, like,
get
that
the
little
aesthetic.
check-in area that I'm sure they put a Christmas tree in there, but
Right, but it's tiny.
right, sure. But
I could see it.
just to go to the back too, I mean, you could just take the, boat from the Magic Kingdom and then
Mhm.
go over and hang out by the bar and where they do hoop-de-doo and
Yeah,
maybe
Crockett's
playground,
Tavern.
Crockett's Tavern, you could just walk around that
Yeah,
area. It's understated.
sure.
Not many people think of going over there to chill out.
No, I agree with that. Now, one I will say that did not make my list, and I'm guessing it didn't make yours because neither of us have been there for the holidays, but I bet Aulani is out of this world at Christmas.
Oh, well, see, I was just doing, the Disney resorts
The Florida ones, yeah.
because that is off the charts, and hands down, unequivocal, the best is Grand Cal.
See, I
And
wouldn't know it, Chris.
it's
I
not
haven't
even
even
close.
seen, like, videos of it.
Oh, I'll send you one. We watched one last year before we were going, and it will blow your mind,
Oh,
and
really?
you'll say, "Why don't they do that why don't they do that in Orlando at Walt Disney World?" Like, the whole drive up
Oh,
is
really?
decorated, like, they have the trees are all decorated. Oh, blows you away.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that since this is addicted to DVC, but we are way more familiar with the Disney World
You know what else is
resort.
a great resort at Christmas?
I'm guessing
It's
Vero
across
Beach
the
would probably
coast,
be
Vero
that.
Beach.
Yeah.
Amazing. They have a gorgeous, gorgeous, huge Christmas tree because their lobby is enormous.
It's big, yeah.
I mean, it's like Wilderness Lodge in the Grand Floridian. I mean, you could put a 30-footer in there with no problem.
Yeah. And I like that, like, beachy Christmas
I do
theme
too.
too.
Yeah,
I like it
especially
a lot.
coming from the north like that, you could totally see doing a Christmas there, warmer weather, have a nice
Yeah.
dinner.
Well, speaking of, my number
Cottages,
3
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
is the Beach Club.
Okay.
I love the Beach Club at Christmas. The lobby's smaller. It doesn't have like the grand ceiling and a huge. It's got a nice Christmas tree, and like I said, I really like
Yeah.
the that aesthetic, like the beach Christmas theme that they have going. And then they do the gingerbread carousel, which is fantastic. They have the little shop set up. You can buy gingerbread. You can get hot cocoa. You can get drinks. Everything. And then you're out on the boardwalk area as well, which is really nice. So I just love how it looks at Christmas.
Well, I have
Plus,
that also.
you can walk over to Yacht Club. I know that's not DVC, but it's connected and it's really close. And Yacht Club's lobby is really nice too. They have the whole village and like a gingerbread White House, and they have a train that goes through like a Christmas village that they build. Both of those, if you kind of connect those two together, it's fantastic. But even just Beach Club on its own,
Yep.
I love the way they decorate it with like the seashells and the starfish and the mermaids on the trees and the wreaths everywhere. It's nice.
And I'll take it a step further because this is also my number 3.
Okay.
I think their DVC building is gorgeous with that big Christmas tree in the solarium.
I didn't even mention that.
It's all decorated in the drawing room. I love that building.
It just adds an extra touch. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Because when you walk into not the check-in area, but in the DVC building, there's just a huge like foyer where it goes up all 3 stories, and they put a tree right in the middle of that.
It's beautiful.
And then the drawing room where they have the TV is decorated, or that's not the drawing room, whatever the drawing room.
The solarium is what you're thinking of on the other side of the drawing room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, the solarium's the main building.
Well, they have like a mini solarium too at the.
Yeah, it's called something else, and I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Either way, but they have the 2 little offshoot rooms next to that main entrance that are decorated as well. That's a good point. Really steps it up, and it's quieter there because people don't. If they're going to visit like the gingerbread carousel, no one goes that way.
Me being a junkie, I didn't even know about that building. From the outside, it just looks like it's just separate rooms. I didn't know that they had that beautiful lobby.
Right, you wouldn't unless you've been there, unless you've gone in there. They don't like advertise it or tell you to go check it out or anything, which is nice.
I mean, when you and I stayed there that one night, remember how blown away we were?
Yeah, and that was at Christmas as well.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I could totally see. I know they wouldn't do it because there's not enough people, but I could see like the Dapper Dan singing in that spot in that because of the raised ceiling. I bet the acoustics are really good and everything.
Yeah,
probably sound fantastic. That's a good one for number 3. Obviously,
how cool would that be too? Like a Christmas Eve, like just hanging out, like everybody goes to bed and you just sit down there and watch like either Christmas Eve,
Wonderful Life,
Wonderful Life, one of the Christmas movies. Like just sit there and play pool. It would be fantastic.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
That's still on my hit list. One of these days, I'm going to spend Christmas there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to probably buy another contract so I can afford the 2 nights, but
especially if it's a 1-bedroom.
Yeah, that's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points. That's an expensive week, isn't it?
Who cares?
That's a good point. My number 2 is the Grand Floridian.
Okay.
I think that's what most people think of first when they think of Christmas at Disney, especially in the resorts. You have the piano player playing Christmas music. Used to have a great orchestra. If that orchestra was still there, they'd be easily number 1. Obviously, the gingerbread house, it's decorated great, the Victorian style. As soon as you walk in, you smell the gingerbread, you see the decorations. Like I said, the orchestra is no longer there, hurts it. And the part that hurts it a little bit for me, reason why it's not my number 1, it's just too many people go.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
So if you're staying there, it would be super frustrating. And if you're not staying there, you're adding to the problem of people going just to check it out, which is fine. I mean, ultimately, Disney doesn't really care, but if you're spending $1 million to stay at the Grand Floridian or a lot of points and you want to go hang out in the lobby and it's a zoo, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. But that being said, man, do they do a good job with that lobby.
Yeah.
at Christmas. Everything is decked out. It's perfect. It looks great. One thing I have not done is gone to the DVC building lobby at Christmas.
Yeah, they put a Christmas tree up. It's
I
nice.
figured.
It's a beautiful. I love that building.
It's a nice little. It's not a place to really hang out, though.
No, it really isn't, but it's a pretty building. It's nice and
nice.
quiet and
Yeah.
relaxing.
And of
So
course,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we can keep talking because this is my number one, and I'm
Okay.
pretty sure like
We're just
my 2
flip-flopping
is
it.
your 1, so
Yeah. All right. So what's your number 2?
is Wilderness Lodge.
Okay. Yes.
And I've said for years and years and years, it's 1A and 1B.
Yeah. I agree with that. Now I'm a little surprised now that both of our top 5s are revealed, and we'll talk more about Wilderness Lodge. I don't want to just gloss over. I'm surprised you didn't have Riviera.
Well, we'll see because we're staying there next weekend. Or
You haven't
this
really been
past
there too
weekend.
much for Christmas,
I
right?
have not, so we'll see. Because that is a very, very chill resort, small lobby, but it looks like they really do a good job at Christmas. And they have the Italian Christmas music played outside,
Oh,
which is an
so
added feature, isn't it?
we like Dominic the Donkey Italian or like real Italian?
Like real Italian, like
Yeah.
Pavarotti Italian.
Yeah, Riviera looks like, I'm sure it's nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do a good job. But getting back to your number 2, Wilderness Lodge, what about it? I mean,
Why
I'm
isn't
sure
it
we're
number 1?
yeah, what makes it 2 instead of 1? I know you said they're close, but what sets us back in your mind from being number 1?
I don't know because it's got so many different things. It's got the rocking chairs. It's got the fireplace. For me, I don't know. It's kind of small. I don't really care for the restaurants. And there's something about the Grand if you're going up to Citricos, and Citricos is all decorated for Christmas. And I don't know. It's almost like your Christmas Eve dinner that you're having at the Grand Floridian.
That's true.
And also, I do like walking around. I think their courtyard is gorgeous, and they have all the it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Wilderness Lodge could be number 1. There's nothing like that I don't like about Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like, the thing with Wilderness Lodge, it's my number 1, but I can see, I'll kind of make an argument for you, is that it almost feels like Christmas all the time there because of how it's set
It
up.
really does. Like the Grand Floridian, it's very summery, but they just turn it around during Christmas.
It's probably the biggest transformation.
Yes,
of any other
maybe,
resort.
yeah. That's what I was looking for.
Whereas Wilderness Lodge, and the reason I like it so much is because it has that homey feeling.
It has
but it
that
always has
fall
that
winter feeling all the time. Yes.
Like, you almost expect there to be a giant Christmas tree in the Wilderness Lodge, even if you walk in the middle of March.
Well, you expect their, scented candle to be gingerbread.
Yes, exactly. And
Some
ironically,
type
they
of
don't have any
smoky-
gingerbread.
Yeah.
But it is my number 1. I like it. That's the style I like best for Christmas. Like,
You like that
whole
woodsy cabin.
I do. Yep. And I could see a lot of people who are from the South liking that because that's what you see on like movies and TV, like the classic
Sure,
Christmas
yeah.
look. So you
Right.
get like a taste of it if you're a Southerner and you go there and check it out, as opposed to, like you were saying before, the beachy theme. People from up north don't get that. So when they come down south, they see like the beachy stuff and they really enjoy it.
Yeah.
There is something to that where, like, that Corona commercial they play at Christmas every year where the guy plugs in the lights on the palm tree.
Yep.
Like, that's the best. Like, I want a palm tree with Christmas lights on.
Yep. Everybody's like, "Oh, I want a white Christmas." I'm like, "No, I want that. I'm so tired of the."
I want the palm tree with the lights on it. Yes.
Mhm.
I just love Wilderness Lodge, but it's not as much of a departure from its normal state at Christmas as the Grand Floridian is. So I can see him being very interchangeable on this list. There's a few that neither of us mentioned, obviously. Riviera being one of them. We talked about that. Saratoga. It's nice at Christmas, but it's just too much. The lobby's not like a centerpiece. It's not somewhere you go.
You know what almost made my list
What's that?
was Old Key West. I
So-
imagine that place being gorgeous at Christmas time.
So they have a lot outside.
Yeah.
Looks really nice in that main area, which I really like. That gives me that like Corona vibe because it's already
Yes,
like
yes,
beefy,
by
so
the
you get
gurgling suitcase in that whole
Mhm.
area. Exactly.
Absolutely. So that'll be one, and then like you said, the poly we talked about a little bit. It's understated.
Mhm.
It just doesn't go far. Like they could really lean into that, and I would like it a lot more. Melekiliki maka, like all that kind of stuff.
Can't you see Clark Griswold right now looking
Mm.
out and
Yeah.
visiting his pool?
Absolutely.
Mm.
But yeah, any other ones that I'm forgetting that we didn't mention?
Let me see. I have the list pulled up.
I think we got most of them.
Yeah, I'm looking at my 2 home resorts that we've talked about. I think contemporaries,
Yeah, I mean,
Animal Kingdom. We talked Boardwalk. OP. Yeah, we hit them all.
yeah, at least we mentioned them. I think the top 2 are going to be almost everybody's top 2. Grand Floridian Wilderness Lodge. I would think most people agree on that. Number 3, even though that's the only one we actually agreed on, I don't think that is going to be as common that people would say.
No, it's really not. No, because a lot of people don't like those lobbies. I love those lobbies.
Yeah. And Boardwalk's tough because that's overlooked as well.
Very overlooked.
Riviera, yeah, I mean, after those top 2, it's really a crapshoot. It's what you like. It's where you've been.
Yeah, because there's really no wrong answer. I mean,
no, they do it great. Like even the non-DVC resorts are
absolutely
great. Like I loved Pop Century at Christmas when I stayed there. Like that tree was really cool. Places like that, and obviously the moderates. I actually haven't stayed or seen any of the moderates at Christmas time, but you were saying how
it's steel drum,
like Caribbean Beach with the steel drum Christmas music that messes you up. So there's a lot of that going. But I don't know. You have anything else you want to add here about the Christmas at the DVCs?
I do not. We have a good show coming up next week. This is going to be for our Christmas drive.
Oh,
and I haven't told you about this yet.
No, I'm learning. I don't even know what you're talking
about. Maybe discuss this off air. Or you think you're going to be cool with it?
I mean, it's too late now.
So here's what I want to do. Just for the DVC. What did you say that you missed in your second favorite lobby?
My second favorite. What did I miss?
What is missing? The orchestra. We're going to talk about the orchestra next week.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about our favorite Christmas songs that they did, and we're going to play them during our show. So while you're going to Granny's house, there's going to be a lot less talking between yours truly and Mr. Aruda, and we're going to be playing
that episode will come out on Christmas Day, won't it?
It's either Christmas Day or Christmas Eve.
They come out on Wednesdays, right?
Yeah, that's right. This does come out. Yep. So we could even drop it a day earlier, but yeah, this will be out Christmas Day, Christmas morning.
Perfect.
How's that for a present, huh?
Everyone's sitting around the tree listening to Mike and Gary talk about the Grand Floridian Society Orchestra Christmas album. I can't think of a better tradition to start in 2024 than that.
You know, maybe we like the old school.
We'll have people in 60 years firing up their old podcast machines, listening to this episode in 2084.
Yeah, this is what brings us viral, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. It could.
And what are we doing? We're doing some meal prep. And she just asked, she said, "Can I put Christmas music on?" I'm like, "Yeah." So she's playing Christmas music. And I said, "You know what I can hear right now?" She's like, "What?" I said, "The Grand Floridian Society Orchestra." Because you remember the guy would bust out a song, like he'd grab the mic, like he'd basically be the drummer and he'd put the sticks down and grab the mic and he'd sing for a few minutes and then sit back down and play the drum. Like they were so good, weren't they?
Sorely missed.
Oh my God, yeah. I haven't talked about them in a while. I'm going to start getting angry. So,
All right, wrap us up
And
before
there's
you
no
get too angry.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at DVC Addicts. Email the show info@addictedtodvc.com and join our Facebook group, DVC Addicts. For my cousin and co-host Gary in Rhode Island, I'm Mike in Florida. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you for listening to the Addicted to DVC podcast with Mike and Gary. We want to hear from you. Email us at info@addictedtodvc.com and follow us on all socials at DVC Addicts. We appreciate you being a part of our DVC community, and we'll see you again on our next episode. Thanks again for listening, and welcome home.